The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and The Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome everybody to a beautiful and lovely December 14th. It's hard to think this year is almost over. Certainly trading is going to fall over here off the next couple of weeks, but we will continue to pursue, or not, so I guess I'll say soldier on for the remainder of the year here at TFNN. This is Friday, and we're going into a nice weekend. Hope you all have a great weekend. You need to go to the front page of TFNN.com, though, and check out the best use of your money with Tiger Dollars. Of course, we're going to kick in a little bit and wet the beak of the local Salvation Army. Tom O'Brien on his show last night had the, was it the colonel or major? Or, I guess it was a colonel. I wondered, why do, you know, is it really a military, or do they just give ranks because it's the Salvation Army? I wonder if there's really ranks and people marching around and everything. I know there's bell ringers. I've never actually seen anybody marching in formation from the Salvation Army. I wonder if they actually do that. I'll have to find out someday. Maybe someone will call in and let me know. You can call in with just about anything, 877-927-6648. We'd look forward to your call. We've got some action out here. It's a little less, a little more subdued than you would think. And we'll get into a little bit. Last night, the President and the Speaker of the House met. Their discussion was called Frank. And if you're not into doublespeak in diplomatic terms, Frank means that they didn't pull out guns and shoot each other. That generally means they cussed and pointed and called each other names. What can you say? It's Frank is a discussion that I heard one guy actually say back when we were talking to the Russians, when we had frank conversations, it was time to put more food in the bomb shelter. I don't think we're really going to see anything until at least after Christmas for some kind of deal. I think everybody just saying that there's a deal won't make it happen. I think a lot of people may be playing a little bit too fast and loose with our money. I don't know if the president's still leaving, but he was supposed to leave today and go to his new, what is it, like $8.5 million home on Hawaii to, I think, the 23rd, and then come back and stand in front of the Christmas tree and hang around the White House for Christmas. My guess is that there probably may be a little pressure on him not to go on vacation, but I haven't checked or heard anything about whether or not that's being delayed because of the news out here of some shootings. Everybody, as a politician, you can't run right off to Hawaii after a bunch of people have gotten killed. And they don't like, now they call it the optics of it all. But he may still be leaving no matter what, trying to, I think it was an $8.5 million home he bought in Hawaii. And you just have to think that maybe he wants to go out and see what he paid $8.5 million for. I don't know if it was easy for him to, like, go over there. My guess is his wife went and looked at it and said, yeah, here's some pictures of it, that's it. You kind of stroll into a house asking to buy it, and you're the President of the United States. It probably caused a few inquiries by the neighborhood, but maybe if you're the wife of the President, maybe you could sneak in there. But we've got a market that's down. We've got Apple at a 10-year low. I am not surprised. I brought up the fact on Monday. We're going to be talking about it with Tom O'Brien tonight in the second hour. And that is Apple has had a lot of things go wrong for them very quickly. But that's not uncommon. A lot of these stocks actually, excuse me, The nagging cough just won't go away. But anyway, we've got... I thought you might have somebody actually coughing. That would be better than awe. But anyway, we've got... now he's forgetting. The awe now made me go nuts here. I can't even remember what I was talking about. But anyway, we've got Apple down here at these lows. Not a lot to surprise me. But that was because last Friday I tweeted out to my subscribers. It was out there in the news, just no one ever repeated it. They lost the most important patents they could have on everything from iPhones to tablets. I never thought that the patents should have been awarded. Of course, the U.S. Patent Office did not redact them. It invalidated those patents. And for some reason, I guess Apple got the news early, or it wasn't going to be put out. They jammed it out about 5:45, 5:50 last Friday. And that's, if you want to dump some news in, it's called the document dump. And politicians are probably the number one on the list on that. If there's a bunch of unflattering stuff, they like to dump it on Friday. And when you ask about them on Monday, they go, it's old news. Of course, in this 24/7 cycle, that's not uncommon. Always newer news, more things coming. A lot of people want to talk about. What do we have going on in the markets? It is, let's see, let me go here and take a look. Wanted to see what we had for volume out here. About 2 billion shares, not bad for a Friday, 1417 on the S&P cash. Anything less than 1424 makes me think that we are going to continue to see weaker and weaker prices. We've got a lot of these stocks that are very short that people are still pushing up on light volume and trying to get these things to roll. But I haven't seen much in the way. In fact, a lot of them have actually retraced and are at the bottom of their at least short-term trading range. I'm looking for some kind of break Monday when there's no deal announced over the weekend and everybody understands that we are going to Friday, or actually to Christmas, without anything big happening. A week from today, we do have options expiration. Everything still shows that we're going to have an SPY expiration somewhere around 1,400, which is not a big deal lower out here, but enough that I think that we're going to start seeing a little lower prices and a few people selling out this year instead of waiting to pay taxes next year. But I've got my short positions and nothing really coming close to stopping me out. In fact, some fairly decent reversals today as they tried to push them early in the day. And we'll see how it plays out. But at the moment, I'm not feeling too bad about these. Not making a lot of money, but of course, a 3-point move in the S&P probably won't change a lot of stocks out there for the moment. Now, could we go 15 points higher between now and Christmas for some unknown reason? Maybe everybody just decides to leave and not even bother to look at the stock market. The answer is yes. Could we have that really bad news conference where everybody says that we're going over the fiscal cliff and on very light volume have a very tricky market? That's what I'm hoping out for. Yes, may I lose 3 or 4% on some of my positions, maybe 5%, yes. Could I make 15 or 20? And I think the odds are at least equal, if not better, of the latter. So we'll continue being short, at least for the meantime, to see whether or not anything happens. But not a lot of volume so far. I think a lot of people losing interest in the markets because of the news, because of Christmas. A lot easier to get a lot of things out of it. What else did I have out here that I wanted to talk about? There were a few things, and I can't remember what. Apple's at its 10-month low, which is basically testing that 505 low. We got to 507 today. Apple is trading out at 510. So I don't see that we got to 507. So we haven't actually tested that. Volume is going to be a little bit lower today, but we did not break that low. Could we get a bounce out of here? Yes. My guess is, though, that we will come back and test that 505.75, if not today, on Monday. And if we get the lighter volume, maybe that has put in a low for Apple this year. But the energy coming down this last leg, if you're watching on Tiger TV, you can see my charts, was actually a little stronger than the last up leg, not as strong as the last major down leg to that first 505.75 low from November 16th. But we're going to continue seeing weakness, I think, in this market as long as we have a lot of people willing to take probably some, at the high, you had over a 10,000% return from the, was it March lows of 2003 or 2004. I think it was 2004 in Apple. It was about $6.57, if I remember right. Made a double, a test of its previous low back then, and it was like on 10% of the volume. Pretty good buy point, everything you wanted if you wanted to buy it there. And if you would have sold it at the top, I think it was close to 11,000%, something like that. One of the monster trades of all time, if you would have been able to hang on through all the ups and downs. But now we're probably going to see something a little bit more reasonable. And part of it is Apple spending more money. I actually wrote about it at length today in the Tech Insider. But we'll have to see how that goes. Anyway, I wanted to look and see what we had other markets out here, see what we had in movement. Let me get to it here. Do we have anything really moving big? Avago, again, we were talking about all the stocks and the ones that were looking horrible and have been on the show for a while. But let me get to my scans here. What is it? Apple. Where's my Apple? Apple parts. Avago is one of the big suppliers to Apple. And we're seeing probably that ring through today. Lots of volume. It's going to come back here and test this $31.68. And it's probably going to test it on heavier volume. So Apple still not getting a ring endorsement of the company that actually sells them the parts. Avago's one. Another one that's been weak is Skyworks Solutions. When we look at it, pretty similar thing. I went up through these charts the last few days, and it really looked like this pattern is repeating itself a ton in the market, bringing this pattern up, and that is huge volume down, huge sign of weakness in these stocks. And in Skyworks Solutions, that was on the 2nd of November, came down with 17 million shares. This one's actually probably a little bit more bullish in that we're getting into those lows today. Probably going to be a little lighter volume out here. We'll look at a few more other stocks out here. But looks to me like, best case scenario, 505 holds for a little while, maybe to the beginning of the year. Worst scenario is that 505 breaks. But I can't see a huge rally in Apple before the end of the year, especially getting light here. We'll be back in a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Happy holidays from TFNN. Our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale is back this December at TFNN. Normally, we offer only a 10 to 20% bonus on Tiger Dollar purchases, but through December 19th only, when you purchase Tiger Dollars to spend on any of our products, you get a 25% bonus on your purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. You'll receive a personalized thank you letter directly from our local Clearwater Salvation Army administrator in appreciation of your donation. Tiger Dollars can be used on any of our newsletters or subscriptions, never expire, and are fully transferable. Take advantage of our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale of the year right now. Visit TFNN.com for all the details and to make your purchase today. Happy holidays from TFNN.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, not a lot of movement in these markets, and not surprising, we get to lower volatility over the next few days, but I suspect may see some people trying to sneak out the back door before the end of the day, and we go into the long weekend with the markets down a little bit lower. We're seeing a lot of short stocks with high short interest. They're trying to pop those a little bit, but looks to me like they're just at the very end of holding up some of these things, and I'm looking for them to actually crack fairly hard. We're seeing some actually come in and break their lows out here. Again, I'm looking for something like a 140 on the SPYs for the close, and that's because the options continue to show that there's very little interest in pushing and buying more puts out here at the moment, and calls, and that pretty much gives a good indication. At least when you look at the puts and calls, people are betting on a 140 expiration a week from today. So we maybe we see 138 or something, and then bounce to 140 for next Friday, something like that. At the moment, it looks fairly weak, but I see a lot of stocks that tried to go higher today and are continuing to go lower. And we've got that 2 billion shares, not a big deal so far. I suspect we're going to see some high volume Monday and Tuesday, and that should be a better indication of what's going to happen a little bit longer in this market. I wanted to get into Triquint Communications because they're another one. We've got a lot of these stocks set up for ABC downs. My guess is that these things are actually going to the previous lows out here fairly quickly. TriQuint is no different. $4.30 was the last major low out here, and that was on October 26th. 7.5 million shares. You know, down today, not a whole lot of volume, but this thing looks like it could easily drift back down to that particular low. We're just going through a couple of these Apple stocks today. Stocks like Qualcomm, you know, even it had a problem, and we pointed this out on the air, and that is that it was getting up here to this previous high on September 19th with 15 million shares. Didn't quite make it, and so didn't scream. You know, you didn't have a real clear sell signal, but you did get into that. The highest volume was about 11 million shares. It's come back, filled that gap that it kind of had on the top. So you're probably going to find some, at least some level with Qualcomm. ARMS Holdings, this thing could be ready to break. There's a good pattern out here that is called the double repo, and it is a 3x3 displaced moving average. If you stay above the 3x3 for a number of days and then actually see it close, normally the definition is 10 to 15 days above the 3x3 displaced moving average. Let me zoom in here just a little closer so you can easily see it. The 3x3 is basically a moving average of the last 3 days, and you put it 3 days in the future. So let's say at the close of the day we average Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays close, and we put that to Wednesday. If it's above that, it's one indication. If it's below that, it's another indication. The idea is to take, you know, if you can get that 10 to 15 days above the 3x3, close below it for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 days, close above it for a couple of days, and then close below it. That is the definition of the top in some stock that has pretty much had a blow-off move here. And what will they do? They will come back into the first day of the major breakout, which case is going to be around $30 on ARMS Holdings. Not a bad little setup up here. One of the stronger stocks, but you just haven't had a lot of volume. And of course, this is probably not going to race back there, but over time, I suspect it's coming back to $30. And my call on ARMS Holdings is it's kind of the Apple of probably next year. There is a lot of juice in Intel to come after them and in their business. And I've written in the Tech Insider why I think Intel has the upper leg in that business over time. And you know, I think I had a big article, was it 4 weeks ago now? 3 weeks ago, something like that, about Intel's future plans. And they're kind of coming after them, much like Android went after the iPhone. And it's looks like it's going to continue out there. What else do we have? Probably see nothing in that. Actually, not too bad. Not a lot in that. OVTI is another one that makes cameras for Apple. OmniVision Technologies, OVTI. This is another one. Let me take that particular off. Is that? Yeah, there we go. But we've got another one in OVTI. This thing really probably looks like it's coming back down to 1305. The exact same kind of things out here. This thing is going to have to at least hit one more time. But yeah, you've got probably 1305, 1350 to go back and fill a longer gap out here. We'll be back.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, as always, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, and we'll be glad to take your call. Futures still bouncing around, or not futures, but S&P still bouncing around, down a little bit, down a point. But my guess is we're probably going to see a close right now. My little model shows a close somewhere around 1214 today, and 2.9 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape. That's a model. It's not always right, but a pretty good indication of where we should close out today. So 2, 3, 4 points lower, just on lighter volume out here. We'll see what Monday brings. My guess is that by Monday, the reality of no fiscal cliff deal before Christmas means that we're going to have to wait at least into Thanksgiving. And I mean, not Thanksgiving, into the week between, or the days between Christmas and New Year's, and probably put a drag on the market. 1390 is the next real big area, 1385. I think we could see that still before Christmas. This market could continue to drop. And we did see one of the things that I have not seen in a while. I'd probably say lately, let me put it that way. And was it an alien that I saw on the way to work today, on the drive over? Was it Bigfoot? Was it Yeti? Was it a traffic accident? Or the most elusive thing that I've been looking for the last few years? Under $3 gasoline. Yes, I saw it today, $2.99 at the rally. We continue to have a gas war down here, at least in the Clearwater area, that seems to be spreading. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on out there. I know that gasoline continues to drop down. It's like around $2.60 without the taxes, but I continue to see sharp competition down here, which makes me think that there's plenty of gasoline. And there's probably a reason for that, and that's less people using it, and indication that the markets might actually follow that, especially as weak as we've seen some of the other markets. In fact, let me see what I've got out here today. Up about 80 cents on crude, is that right? And see if there anything else we have out here. Not a huge market out here move, but we continue to see weakness in this area, especially in energy stocks. Apple, it's going to get down there and test that 505, I think, before the end of the day. And probably going to be just a little lighter, but not enough light to make me think that this thing doesn't bounce Monday and come right back after it on Tuesday. A lot of bad news coming out. They lost some patent litigation yesterday. Again, this is probably not the most massive patent case out there. And I think it's going to be solved for probably a couple $100 million. But it's now, I've always said that Apple would rue the day that they started these patent wars. And I suspect with what we've been talking about before, earlier this Monday, about Apple losing at least the getting their patents revoked on the Jobs patents, what they call the Steve Jobs patents, which are basically all the stuff for the iPhone and the tablet out here. But I kind of went through that in the Tech Insider newsletter today. Not a lot of stuff to go out there and be buying right now. I think that we probably have about maybe 45 days. I do have a short position in the newsletter, and it's doing okay. And I'm more than willing to sit on that short side now than be long anything and get the giant surprise, which we certainly could get any moment out here over the next few days. Anyway, I wanted to go to some other stocks, but nothing that says we've bottomed anywhere or close to bottoming long-term or even medium-term in Apple when we look through the rest of the stocks in its sector. Of course, it's still 17% of the Index 100 and 9%, probably 8% now of the S&P. Is it S&P? Yeah, S&P 500. So we're going to continue to see weakness in that sector out there. I wanted to go through some of the other stocks we've been talking about. One was Xilinx, that made me think that we were pretty good, at least it hit a top out here. And if you're going to be anything in the semiconductor area, you wanted to be short. Xilinx, not tremendously weaker out here today, but it looks like it's made a fairly decent top. When we look at the previous high, September 14th, $5.81 on September 14th, got to $36.06, so what, 15 cents over the last major high, but did it with 2.5 million shares, and we pulled right back into that trading range. Again, we're probably going to see these things pull back a little, and then the volume's going to dry up in the market. And until we get a definitive no deal on the fiscal issues, we're probably going to see these things hit. But with very light volume, we can get massive amounts of movement. I would say that 95% of the people are betting that we get a deal of some kind. I'm betting on the opposite 5% because I don't think there's much to lose on the upside, but a ton on the downside. Emerging markets ETF. Another one that's been watching out here is Vistaprint. This thing's one of these super highly short stocks, if I remember right also. But this is kind of the pattern that's been out there, and I'd say probably 80-85% of these things have been working well, and that is just shorting the huge down day, and we've got that in Vistaprint on the 26th of October. We saw it come down with almost 1.9 million shares. What are we getting now is it's coming back and filling that fairly large gap, 445,000. And yesterday, what do we get? 708,000. We've got 141,000 now as it gets back into this range. A lot of short covering toward the end of the year. You get these light volume retraces, but be very wary of holding anything in there because the door can fall out very quickly. Don't know much about this stock. Unum Group. I'll go ahead and find out about them. Another one out here that's been trying to make higher and higher moves on lighter volume. We set the bar on the September 17th high at $20.92, 4.2 million shares. Came in with that with less than half on November 6th. We got back into it on December 12th with 2.2 million shares again. This thing is closed back below, setting up a nice trading range and a couple of bucks in it, but we also have some other ones. We talked about this one. I took my money just a little early on this one, but we got a big $5 out of it in the newsletter. But one thing I didn't like is it was getting awful close to what you had. This is kind of the opposite side of these trades. I just liked it because actually it had come down on light volume. And this is kind of one of these patterns that actually is both bullish and bearish in Under Armour. So probably a good one and a teachable moment if you want to look at the chart on this. But on the long term, it took off with heavy volume on 724 of 10.2 million shares. It came back in, tested on 2.8 million shares. You got the automatic bounce, but what did it do? It tested a huge volume day down that had almost 7 million shares, came into it with 1.7 million shares, which made me go ahead and pull the trigger on this thing. But you're at massive support levels now. We took our money just a little under $50 to get our $5 out of it. Got our pound of flesh from Under Armour. But not a bad trade, but you have to, it's one of these things that you knew you're going to have limited downside in it. But looked like it had a very good indication that you were going to get that. Another one that really scares the bejesus out of me, if you ever know what that is. I'm going to have to look it up now. I just heard this. I don't know what a bejesus is. But anyway, the one that's probably the scariest chart out here for the market is PKG. What do these guys do? They make packaging for everybody that ships products. And what does that mean? If they are not going up, they're probably going down. They make all the cardboard and corrugated material and packaging products. They know a lot sooner that people are shipping a lot more things than anybody else. And when they start making that kind of packaging, they know that business is going up or going down. A great canary in the coal mine stock to always be keeping your eye on. But what do we have in this one that makes me scared is a very low volume test of the top up here. And I'm looking at the October 16th high, $36.96, 2.7 million shares. When we got into it, went over it with about 11 cents. We've got a valid sell signal. We don't have volume yet, but this thing really looks like it wants to come back down to the gap move up, which is about 33.50, somewhere in that range. I think you got an excellent setup here for this thing to come back to it fairly quickly, and that may be the end of this next down move in the broader markets. But right now, a very weak stock at its highs, and it is one of the bellwethers of the marketplace because if business is getting better, they should continue to do better, not be up here on light volume when we test it. Let's see, what else do we have? Google's kind of interesting. I was looking at it today. The question is whether or not this thing is going back up or making an ABC down. My guess is this thing, with the general market, is got some fairly decent support around the 680 level, so not a lot of risk to the downside. They're probably the best tech company at the moment. They are executing well. They have a problem with mobile advertising coming in much lighter than their online desktop counterparts. If I search for something on Google on my desktop, they make about 45 cents. If I do it on my phone, and they make on a mobile device, they make about 25 cents if I'm searching something to buy. So the question is, just can they get that number up a little higher or get enough more searches to actually make up that money? And that's been the question for them for a while. My guess is that $700 see this thing close out maybe the end of the year at 680 is probably, probably one of the stronger stocks out here, at least in tech land of the major techs out there. Intel, Microsoft, Apple, the rest of them out there. Google is fairly strong, but it's got the same problem with any kind of market move out here. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. We'll discuss that. Cigna, not another good one to be up here at very light volume. When we look at Cigna, it is the Health Services Corporation through its subsidiaries provides insurance and related products. Another one that came up here, given a confirmation today on a sell signal. That is the last major high at November 2nd on $53.75. 4.2 million shares. We get 2.7 million shares, and it closes below that really yesterday. Confirms that today. When you look at my power law vector indicator, you can see just a massive move up. This thing is now double topped out here. Probably nice for a trading range down to about $49.35. So not the end of the world, one of the stronger stocks out here. But if you notice, it's got several highs around that $47, $48, $49 level. The one I'm keying off of is the March 30th high, $49.89. That looks to me like probably the support level in this thing. Market could pull back if this thing can hold above those levels. That may be a nice little stock to start looking to see if the consolidation's done and maybe it's ready to go higher. I think you've got a good 30 to 60 days before we see that, though, so don't get too excited about it. Century Aluminum, another stock out here that would make me give pause in the marketplace to be long, and that is the 850 high of September 14th, 1.9 million shares. Come into that with less than half that volume. We really need a more definitive closeout here to give the sell signal, but it got 12 cents over. It's going to close below that. We get one more bar down in Century Aluminum, and pretty good looking stock to think that it's headed back down to $6.63. And what else do we have going on there? BCS, Barclays, nice little bank up here. A lot of these banks have been popping. I'll look at BAC right after this. Barclays, I think kind of looking like a lot of these stocks heading into massive overhead support in the marketplace. When we look at it, it has an 18 million share high on March 27th, $16.41. It's gone above it. Volume is incredibly low, $6.32. You've got to be looking at these banks up here and saying, is the energy out of these things? We've got kind of a similar kind of thing. And the warning I will give you is that Bank of America looks like it has every opportunity to be a false breakout like we've seen in a lot of these stocks. $10.10 was the major high. It breaks through that and you have lots of volume, and then you get nothing but kind of a movement sideways here over a number of days without any kind of volume, without any sign of strength. Close back below $10.10 would be a major sell signal in Bank of America, BAC. Keep an eye on those. We've got a few more stocks to look at, and I'll do my little victory dance. $2.99 gallon. I'm filling up today, baby.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
As we come back, finishing up the day here, looking at a few stocks that are actually moving. We've got the S&P out here at 1415. Could have been a lot worse. Volume's not all that great yet, 2.2 billion shares. I suspect we start seeing that movement down to 140 for the S&P Friday's expiration, but probably going to be light. Probably not going to have a whole lot of excitement just yet. I'm willing to stay short probably for a while. I think that we could get a move out here that goes 30, 60 days out here where you might just want to just sit on your hands and watch the market melt until everything gets sorted out. One of the things we have today is Best Buy. Of course, it bounced heavy on news that they were going to have a buyout offer. What it came out last night after the bell was that they were going to let them extend that offer, which means there's nothing coming out anytime real soon. And, of course, it bounced right back down to where it was at. We've got a lot of these stocks that are just highly short. We continue to see those stocks be the ones the huge changes are happening in. We've got, several stocks out here. Facebook off about 4 cents. They drove it up, put it in the NASDAQ 100 and some of the indexes, and we'll see it kind of move. Apple still hasn't tested that 505. Looking for that before the end of the day. What else do we have out here? Microsoft's back under $27. What do we have here? Not a whole lot on the downside. It's a muted day. Let me put it that way. On the positive side, We've got a nice little movement out here in a few stocks, but again, they're all these hyper short stocks where everybody's rapidly foaming at the mouth bullish. That's not where you want to be when these markets actually turn. You want to get into that before all the excitement and yelling and be out by the time everybody's yelling and screaming. There was I used to go down to the pits, the trading pits downtown Kansas City. And the old saying there was always, sell them while they're yelling and buy them while they're crying. Everybody's just I think they're kind of whistling past the graveyard for the most part in this market. And we continue to see, highly short stocks run, and that's about it. Not seeing a lot of strength in companies like Intel or Microsoft, the ones that are normally the perennial favorites of the big funds out there because they can buy lots of stock in it. And we continue to see some. Let me see if there's anything out here. There's we got about a minute and a half out here. Unless we have a question for the den, I'm going to look at Akamai Technologies. This thing looked like it had kind of made some kind of high. Akamai really had it set its high February 9th of $39.14, 18 million shares. It's tried to break through those highs a few times. We've gotten one more, I think, sell signal today. Let me see. Look at this. 39, yeah, it's going to be close. But this thing closes back down below 39.14. You're going to have one more sell signal. You've gotten about 3 in this thing. Another one that took off with high volume needs to come back and fill a good hunk of this gap. And then maybe we'd be thinking about going long this thing. But if we could get this thing back at about $30, nice trading range out there, about would be about 30%, wouldn't it? It'd be a nice little trade out here if this thing can get back in and fill at least part of these lower gaps. There's one between 36 and 37.75, something like that. Then we have 28.50 to about 33.50. That gap is pretty much primed to at least get filled at some level. And you've got to be watching for those big gaps out there. You all have a great and safe day. Catch me in the second hour of the Tom O'Brien Show where we talk technology. We got a lot of interesting stuff in the news this week. We'll be talking about it all. You all have a great, safe, and wonderful day. And buy some of those Tiger dollars. Buy. You're buying stuff, other stuff. Buy those Tiger dollars.